Hello friends and welcome back. Today I'm going to be using Prima's Fruit Paradise collection to make this super cute, very easy, awesome swap idea. It's a gift pouch with a recipe booklet inside, and this is great, like I said, for doing a recipe swap with your crafty besties, or even for like a gift idea for maybe one of the kids is moving out or somebody just bought a new home. It's just really simple, cute idea that doesn't take very much time at all. So here's the stuff that I'm going to be using. So I've got the Prima Fruit Paradise. Yeah, I can talk. All these little goodies, elements. I picked up these recipe cards at, I believe it was Michael's. They were on clearance. I've had them in my drawer forever, but you can even make your own, print out your own, however you like to do it. And I will link below the size of the recipe cards because I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I'm going to have to go measure them. But the envelopes that I'm using to make the booklet are 5x7 envelopes. We're going to grab some vellum. This is what I'm going to use. You can also use paper. And here's your measurements up on the top and where to score. And you're going to need 2 of those sheets, and then you are going to put them together just like this to make a little pouch. And this is what your little booklet is going to slide right into. Now, one thing I will advise you to do that I did not do, learn from my mistakes I hope, is maybe you might want to wait to make your pouch until after you've made your book. If you're anything like me, you are not going to be able to not overstuff your book, because that's exactly what I did. Then it didn't fit in my pouch. I will show you at the end how to salvage the pouch if the same thing happens to you, because that's what I had to do. But sometimes I always put the cart before the horse. So yeah, anyway, let's get started. So now we're just going to decorate the fronts, and the pattern paper sizes were 6.5 by 5.25. If you want to have a little bit of a border around the edge, I'm just going to put together my pouch now, and the easiest way to do this is to line it up as straight as you can and then just kind of roll your edges over. Now I will say that you'll notice that this one that I'm working on right now is not a 1/2 inch, and your measurements are right, my measurements were off. So you will have a 1/2 inch on 3 sides if you use the same measurements as what I had put up on the screen for you. And now I'm just going to place it together as best I can, trying to keep it very straight. So I'm just going to use my bone folder to make sure that everything is straight, and then I'm just going to adhere down my other 2 sides. I wanted vellum. I don't know why. I could have used paper, but actually I'm being really stingy with my paper because I have a few more projects that I want to do with it. So this was just my way of extending my paper, but you can definitely use paper to make the pouch. It doesn't have to be vellum. So now I've attached both sides, and I'm using a little 1-inch punch on the top. That just makes it easier for you to grab whatever you stick inside the pocket. I'm going to do the same thing on the booklet when I use the 5x7 envelopes to make the booklet. This is another little gift card pouch that I'm going to put on the front of my vellum pouch, and here's your measurement. So you've got a piece that's 5x6. You're going to score it at a 1/2 inch and then 3¼ inches. Turn your paper 3/8 and then 4 3/8. And then you're going to remove these little areas that I'm showing you right here, and then take your little punch and make your little opening at the top. And then when you put your whole thing together, you can decorate it with some pattern paper on the outside. So before I get to that, oh, I also pulled out a word die, bonjour, because this is a French, it's got a lot of French words in it, so I thought that went really well with the front. Hello. And now I'm just going to add some burlap strips to the pink and white check, because I love this. It's so very farmhousey to me. I love having the burlap and the very organic pieces mixed in with this collection. I think it goes together really well. So I'm just going to add that to the front of my pouch and then trim down the edges. And this burlap is a 12x12 piece of burlap. I don't remember where I got it. It's in my stash. You can use any like fabric or burlap that you have in your crafty little stash. Now I'm going to put together the gift pouch and then add my paper to the front to decorate it. And basically what I want to do is put down all my big pieces first so that I can decorate around them. So that's why I'm adding this now and not later. The inside of your pouch, your actual booklet that's going to hold all your recipe cards, can't have a whole lot of dimension to it, so the majority of your decorating is going to be on the front of the gift part, the gift pouch part. So right now I'm just going to make myself a little like a double tag, I guess, one that opens. So that way I can put a gift card on the inside. I have a little JCPenney gift card that's going to go in there. And I also had from my stash for you, and I cut that out of white paper, and I'm going to add that also to the inside as a little gift part. But if you don't want to put a gift card in there, you can just use this as the place where you write your little note, especially if it's as a swap. You know, you write out your little notes or whatever, or a good place to stuff your letter that you want to send to whoever you're swapping with. So it's just like an extra little place to put something that makes the front of the pouch look really cute. I think it does. So I just used a tag as a reference for what size I was going to make everything, including the pouch that the tag is sitting in. That was my reference for all my numbers. And then on the inside, this is where your little gift card would go, and where you would put your little for you in there, or like I said, you could just write a note in there, or stuff a little letter in there, whatever you want to do. I didn't like how tall it was, so I did trim mine down. Personal preference, you could leave it as the way it was. And now I'm just kind of figuring out what pieces I want to use on the front. And I know because I have the apples at the bottom that I want to use the little apple ephemera pieces that I cut out from the paper pad. I also want to place my sentiment on here somewhere. So now I'm just going to kind of run through real quickly, just kind of stuffing all the greenery and the burlap and all the flowers where I want them to go. These flowers are absolutely adorable, and they are part of this collection. So if you don't want to make your own, they most definitely have some really beautiful flowers that you can get to go with your collection to make putting things together so much faster. So this is basically the setup. I only changed a couple things. You can see I moved the bonjour down lower, and I grabbed some of the chipboard elements and some more burlap to add to the front. And now we're going to put together the actual booklet. So we're going to take 4 5x7 envelopes, and this is how they're going to go together. So this is your orientation, as you want one facing up and the other three facing the other direction, and you want to trim off about 1/8 of an inch from the top of each one of these. So mine actually are going to be exactly 5x7, because envelopes are a tiny bit bigger than your actual card that goes inside. And now this is how we put it together. This is going to be your front and back cover right here. So you're just going to tape these together, and then you have your 2 openings on either side, which you basically all I did was slide each one in, like going from the back cover to the front cover, but you could also flip it around and do one on either side. However you want to put them together to make a booklet. This is just how I did it, but you can also do it facing them the other side too. I will link below to another video that I have where I did an entire book out of this. This is just a little booklet, but I have an actual entire, I think the thing has like 8 or 9 pages in it, so I will link it below if you want to check that out and see how to make this into an actual like full-on book. And now I'm just leave these alone, exactly the way they are, because we will turn them into pockets with patterned paper, and you don't want to glue those together yet, because you want to be able to, that's where your recipe cards are going to slide in, so you want to leave it the way it is. And then this will slide right inside, and you can see how nicely it slides in right now, but I do not know how to not overstuff things. So here's where your recipe cards are going to go. I've already decorated front and back. All I did was put pattern paper, no decoration, and then I've decorated the first few, just the paper parts and the pockets, and I left the last one blank so I can show you how I did it. So I just cut down a piece of pattern paper, and I'm going to use my circle punch to make my little opening so we can grab the recipe cards nice and easy. And I need a new circle punch, so yes, I struggle with it. Then I'm going to tape this down on 3 sides, but you want to do it very close to the edge because you want to give yourself as much space on the inside as possible, but you want to make sure you don't have any tape right there in that opening, the inner part of the opening, just along the edge, so that way you've got a full pocket where you can slide your recipe cards down, and yeah, without having to put hinges or do anything fancy. This is very not fancy. Simple, But I mean, all you're doing is sliding a couple of recipe cards in there, so it doesn't need to be super thick or wide. And I already made mine way too big as it is, so each one of these, when you cut it down to fit onto your 5x7 piece of paper there, I should say envelope, you're going to have some leftovers, and this is just the leftovers. So I took a edge punch, punched the edges of each one of them, and then I trimmed it down. Didn't trim it down at all, actually. I just scored it at 4 inches, and then I just rolled over the tops for like a little decorative edge. And now I'm going to make some hinges for these pockets, because these pockets fit exactly perfectly, and if you actually want to put anything in the pockets, you need to make a little bit of hinges there. So those are just 1-inch hinges that I scored right down the middle, and then I just trimmed off the top, left the bottom because I'm just going to use tape at the bottom to hold it down. And I'm just going to adhere my pockets to my page. That is simple pockets that I'm going to stuff them with some ephemera because I can't help myself. And these are just some really pretty postcards that I had that have like different fruits and flowers and vegetables that kind of went pretty well with this collection. And so I stuffed them in the pockets because I thought they were super pretty. And I used that was the other thing, is that it had stamps. You know, this collection has some little stamps that go with it, and so I put a stamp on each one of those postcards. And again, these postcards, you can just use them to write recipes on as well, if you've got some that are hanging around and you want to kind of mimic this. You can definitely do that, and then you can use your stamps for decoration. So now I'm just going to start decorating the pages, and I'm going to still, again, with the burlap, keeping with the theme, trying to keep everything together so that everything kind of flows nicely. Didn't really want to get too crazy and do anything different on each page. I wanted to keep it pretty solid, pretty much the same. So each one of these, I'm just taking my little pieces that I cut from that paper, finding the ones that I think look good together where I'm not repeating the same cards on each page. And now I'm going to use some fun foam. That's what I use to pop up. So one is flat and one is popped up with fun foam. And the reason why I use fun foam is because it's thinner than your double-sided adhesive, foam adhesive. So that way it's not as thick, but I still miserably went over on the overstuffing. So each one of these things, I grabbed some kind of little organic elements out of my stash, a little bit of wood. I also use the stamps. This is Gold Star. When I use the stamps, I use it on my stamp chamois, not my stamp chamois, my stamp thing that makes it unsticky. And then I stuck, behind that I put also fun foam, just to kind of pop them up a little bit to make them even. And then that is the book complete. So I'll just run through each one of the pages. You can see I put like different little organic elements on each page. And there's not too many to decorate, but here's the problem. It will not fit inside my pouch. No matter what I do, I cannot get it inside because this pouch is not wide enough for an overstuffed book to fit. So here's how we're going to fix that. Too big. So I cut down, scary pants, right? But I cut down each one of the edges, and then kind of like the same idea as when, remember, we used to have paper sacks when you went to the grocery store, and they have that crease on the side that makes them pop out and be wider. So it's basically the same idea. So I just took some vellum strips and I made 3 score lines evenly. I think I did each one was a 1/2 inch each, so that was probably like 1.5 inches. And it turned it into kind of like a Z pattern, and then just attached it to my, all the way over on my edges, right along those edges. And then adhered the front to the back after I trimmed those little extra pieces off. So you can avoid this completely by doing your book first and then remeasuring your pouch to fit around your book instead of the other way around. I don't know. I figured I would leave this in so that you could see that you can salvage pretty much anything. You just have to kind of sit down and think about it for a minute. Don't throw it away. Just keep trying. Now I'm just going to kind of keep playing with it until I can open up my little paper bag a little better. And as soon as I got it in, took me a second. Now easy peasy in and out. It was just that first time sliding it in, it was a little bit tight. Just kind of played with it a little bit, and once it stretched it out to the right size, the book comes in and out nice and easy. And that's it. That's the whole thing. It's a really cute, simple, easy project. Like I said, I put it together 5 minutes at a time in between my shifts at work. And yeah, the longest thing doing this was editing the video. So here I'm just going to kind of run through it real quick. Here's where my little gift card goes. Here's how it looks all the way around, nice and neat. And here's your little booklet. Super simple little booklet. And so fun. How fun would it be to just add a couple of your favorite recipes and then pass it on to one of your crafty besties, and then they add some recipes, and then it just makes its way back to the original person. Each person will go all the way around, and by the time you get it back, you'll have a different one. You'll have one that somebody else made, but it'll be full of all the recipes from everybody. Wouldn't that be fun? Or, like I said, a little gift for one of your little birdies when they fly away. So I'll just leave you with a couple of pictures of the close-ups. Really do appreciate you guys stopping by. I hope you guys give this project a try. It's real fun, it's real simple, and it's a good way to give gifts to your buddies. Anyway, thanks so much, and stay tuned. I'll have some more stuff coming up real soon, including a blog hop that'll be coming up. And yeah, thanks so much. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.